Okay, so this is a little bit of a different video journal. I haven't done one for a while, so yeah, it feels like forever since I've done one. But so at the moment I am in Montreal in Canada, and I am on, sorry, I'm trying to get the camera somewhere so it looks okay. So I'm on Intrepid camping tour, and we're in Montreal, and this is the 7th night that we've been on tour. And so at the moment we are staying in a hostel in Montreal. For the past week we have been camping in tents, which for me has been a little bit tough going because I've never camped before in my life really. Like I did it once when I was probably, God, 11 or 12 or something for a couple of nights. And I've certainly never built a tent every night and slept on the floor and things like that. But I'll do a whole nother video journal about the Intrepid tour later. So today we were all day in Montreal, and we have just gone for dinner tonight at this restaurant called Noir, which is where you dine completely in the dark. You are served by wait staff who are blind, and it's an experience of having a meal where you can't see anything at all. So this was an option for us to do here in Ottawa. So we're here on the Intrepid tour. They have the restaurant here, in Montreal. So on the Intrepid tour, the restaurant is here in Montreal. So 4 of us, 3 of us who are on the tour, and Cara, our tour leader, decided that we all wanted to go. None of us had ever done it before. And we've just come from the restaurant, so it's 11:30 at night at the moment. We had an 8:30 dinner. And I was really nervous before because I, as a child, was always very scared of the dark, and I didn't really know what to expect, and I was really nervous going in. And it was awesome. So we went in and we chose what we were going to eat. So we did a 3-course meal, which was only $41 in Canadian dollars, which was fantastic. And then we decided to have a bottle of wine as well. So the whole meal, including tip, cost me $70. I paid $70 for the whole thing, so I think it was like $54 or something plus tax, and then plus tip. So what we did was we went in and we ordered we decided on what we were going to eat beforehand, and there was 3 courses, so starter, main, and dessert. And what you can do for each course is they have like the menu there, so you can select. Or you can have a surprise, and you can choose surprise for each of the courses. So what I did was I chose there was about, I think, 6 or 7 options each for the starter, the main, and the dessert. So what I did was chose like my starter and my main, and then I had the surprise for the dessert. So you get in, you order, and then you are introduced to your waitress. We had a waitress, and she said that she'd been working there for 8 years. And you go in, you put your hand on her shoulder, and you form like a little bit of a conga line train, and you walk into the restaurant, and it is pitch black, like you can't see anything at all. It is as dark as it can possibly be. Like I could see nothing around me. Couldn't see my own hand in front of my face. Couldn't see the cutlery on the table. Couldn't see the guy sitting next to me. It was totally black. So it's a little bit disconcerting when you first walk into the restaurant and you can hear everyone else around you dining. Like it's just like a regular restaurant, but it's black and you just can't see anything at all. So we got let in. We were like, got let into our seats, and like, oh, okay, here's my cutlery and here's my plate, and there's some bread. And the first task of like cutting a bread roll and opening your bread and getting your butter when you can see nothing. So you have to find your knife, and how do you put the knife into the butter and then put it on the bread when you can't see what you're spreading and things like that. It was really crazy and funny, and so that was interesting. So that was like, oh God, I got a mouthful of butter. Like I didn't really spread that very well on my bread and things like that. And then your entree comes, and it's like, oh, what is this part? Like I had, for my entree, I had calamari salad. So I was like, oh, okay, well that's the calamari that I'm eating, and how much is my fork actually picking up? And oh, I've actually got a mouthful of more salad than what I thought, because I didn't think my fork was going to pick up that much food. And all of those kinds of things. And drinking the wine, it's like, where am I putting my, like you have your hand and you put it down, you're like, how, like you're trying to feel like, okay, that's my water glass and that's my wine glass, and where is all the stuff, and like you pick it up and you kind of slowly do it, but then you kind of get used to it after a while. And all of us were discussing it, and how are we doing this in the dark, and all of these types of things, just doing a video journal. So it was, yeah, it was really cool and interesting. And we found that as we were sitting there, we were starting to discuss, we had our, like, the starter, which was really great. And then it was like we were just sitting at dinner and discussing a regular thing, but we were in the pitch black and we couldn't see anything at all. And I found that between courses, when we were just sitting there chatting, I found that my eyes were closed. And then when the waitress came over and was like, here's your next course, I was like, oh, and I opened my eyes and it's still black, and I hadn't actually realised that when we were just sitting there chatting, my eyes had closed on their own. So so that was really interesting, and I thought it was going to be a lot more claustrophobic than it was. Like, I was nervous about sitting in the dark, thinking, oh my god, am I going to be suppressed by the darkness, and I didn't really like, I've never liked the being in the dark, and it's not something that I like at all. And it wasn't. I was so much more relaxed than I thought I was going to be, and it was just so much more comfortable. And I think it's because you could hear all of the other diners. There would have to have been maybe 30, 40 people in the restaurant, I think. There was a few, like, quite large parties of people and things like that. And I was surprisingly relaxed, and I just really enjoyed it. And the people that I'm with here on tour, like the girls that we went out with, were really great, and it was really fun and enjoyable. And I think it would be very different if I was dining with strangers in the dark. But because I've been with these guys for a week and we've been living in tents, we've been doing everything together, it was just a really, really enjoyable place. So if anyone has a chance to go to Noir and dine on French food in the dark, I fully recommend it. Like, this is just something, and I'm thrilled that I was able to do this in Montreal, in Canada. I'm on the other side of the world. I am a foodie. I do like these really interesting dining experiences. The food was amazing. I imagined that the presentation and things would be quite good, like from how we were feeling it and kind of touching it a little bit with our hands, because it's like, well, I can't feel it with my fork. Like, I put my fork in, I'm not really quite sure, so I have to, like, I want to kind of touch and feel, where is it, what is it, is it cold, is it like, what is the dessert, like, what am I eating, it was a surprise dessert, so it was like a banana yogurt sorbet, like, type of thing. And so we picked the flavors and things like that. So it was just, I'm just thrilled that I was able to go out and do this really awesome dinner. And I had a really great night. And it was, yeah, it was a lot of money, and it was 2 days budget, but these are the experiences that I want to have. And yeah, this is why I travel. This is why I get to do these things, because this was completely unexpected. I had no idea that I was going to do this, and I've had such a great night. Like, it was brilliant. So yeah, Au Noir in Montreal, in Canada, very good value for money, fantastic experience. I have a real new appreciation for people who are vision impaired, or who are completely blind, vision impaired, and the challenges that they go through. Like, it really has opened my eyes to how other people live that you just really wouldn't think about. So yeah, so that was my night. I got to get dressed up. I haven't been dressed up in 5 months. I got to put on some makeup, wear some heels, go out for a nice dinner. I've carried this stuff around me for 5 months, I may as well use it. So yeah, so back tomorrow night, back in the tents, back to sleeping on the ground. But yeah, so this was great, and I really loved it. So I'm still good. I'm still here. I'm still alive. Still going. it's yeah, it's awesome. My life is amazing. Yeah, okay, bye.